one scientist to another. Don't you admire my robot? It's horrible. And I can only control this robot over a short distance. But with your remote control cell built in, I can send this robot and hundreds like it all over the country.
Dr. Satan may try to attack you on this train tonight. If he does, I want to be here.
Dr. Satan? And why do you want to be here?
Governor Bronson was murdered tonight by one of Dr. Satan's killers.
Perhaps I can accommodate you. I am Dr. Satan. You will be dead before we leave this room.
The effect of Dr. Satan's drugs have worn off. I'm not obeying any more of his orders.
You're going to obey his last order. As soon as I release Mr. Scott, I'm going to turn you over to the police.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Wednesday Night Scream Stream minisode. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
How are we doing tonight, Evan?
We are great here, chilling with Dr. Satan and the Copperhead.
Yeah, like we were kind of baffled by that trailer as we were coming in from the pre-roll. It's kind of all backward. Like,
the Copperhead's the good guy, right?
Yeah, why is the good guy running around in a hood and hiding his identity?
It's like a masked wrestler.
Yeah, well, God, don't even get, I don't know that we'll get to watch any of these movies, but in Mexico I don't know if it started in the 50s, but definitely like the 60s through the 70s, there are these very popular films with a character named, I think it was Santo, and he was a luchador that would go around and like eventually he was fighting like Frankenstein and Dracula, and he was just like meeting up. I think there were like dozens of those movies. I don't really know a lot about the movies, but every once in a while I'll come across that title of like Santo versus Dracula and Frankenstein, and you're like, what? Like, and you see some pictures that are like interesting looking. I'm like, let's just
Not to
check
be
them out.
confused with Santa versus
No,
Frankenstein and
no,
Dracula.
you don't want Santo coming down your chimney because, I mean, it's gonna be some lead to some dramatic finish of a really over the top wrestling move, which seems impossible, but only one man can pull it off. One masked man. But no, and if Santa came down the chimney in a mask, I think everybody'd be pretty terrified. But I mean, it doesn't even get us into the weirdness of the fact that everybody lets a strange man to their house the same night every year in the first place. But that's we will be able to really dig into that really deep on Friday. Because it's the time of the year. If you're not getting into the Christmas spirit by now, it's gonna pass you by pretty
Yeah, what are you
quick.
doing? It's almost here.
You're gonna, yeah. I mean, and that's to say, I know a lot of people are kind of on Christmas. They don't like it. They don't, maybe doesn't bring up the best memories. Not the best time of year. But on the other hand, there is something infectious about the music and the joy and it is the reason for the season. It's in the
Yeah.
air. So it's good to embrace it, even if Christmas isn't your favorite thing.
And
And
something heartwarming, warm you up on these cold winter nights.
exactly. And that's, if you need a little help with that, that's what we're here for, especially this Friday, because if you haven't quite gotten into the Christmas spirit yet, we got the perfect, again, if you're a fan of this show, which love all of our Scream streamers out there. If you're a fan of this show, then you know that, you love these sometimes cheesy, sometimes really good old horror movies or sci-fi movies, or in the case of Friday's film, a science fiction Christmas children's fantasy film. But I won't. I mean, we've already said what it is on the last week's episodes, but I'm gonna just save it for the end. But needless to say, we're here to help you get into the spirit. So definitely on Friday. But hey, even on these Wednesdays, what are these Wednesdays for if not to, kind of give you that warm feeling if you've had a cold. It's been a cold week, at least where we're at. If you're getting up early and coming home late. It's always cold. But it's this is what Wednesdays are about. Kind of unwinding in the middle of your week, kind of getting some yucks in, getting your fair share of laughs, kind of warm the heart. So, and of course,
Yeah, what always puts me in the Christmas spirit?
What?
A nice crime mystery.
Doesn't it? Well, everybody, this is kind of the time of year for interesting crimes. And you know what I hear about this time of year? A lot of jewel thievery. And just so happens, if you're looking for tips on how to keep your jewels safe this Christmas, then boy, do we have the show for you. Or maybe we show you, in the case, to show you what not to do. Because if you really want to lose your jewels or be really terrible holding on to your jewels, then the show is, if you're actually wanting to pick up those tips, this would be appropriate. But it's the don'ts. This is what not to do. Of course, we're referring to the 12-chapter cliffhanger serial that we've been watching every Wednesday this season, The Whispering Shadow with Bela Lugosi. And tonight we will be on chapter 5. So we're kind of getting close to the midway point. It's kind of crazy. We're kind of moving right along. I mean, the year's almost up. I mean, we've been talking about Christmas. It's not even to say anything about New Year's, literally the week after. So it's we're kind of running through this. And, as I've said, prefaced, this is a serial that is supposed to have a lot of clip shows. We thought last week's episode was going to be a clip show. It wasn't, as far as I could tell. it's
No, we
it's
had some development. We actually had some pretty big developments last time.
yeah, and I mean,
I went back and
did you watch
caught
it
back
again?
up just to make sure. I did,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
I refreshed myself because
You've
after a
been
week I tend to
really
forget.
you've been really good about that. You've been really good
I've been trying to
about
get to the bottom of this mystery.
well, and that's the beauty of this serial, and like any serial we watched before, is there is a mystery to get to the bottom of. You are trying to figure out who the Whispering Shadow is, and we don't know. We have no
Who
clue.
is the mysterious Dr. Shadow?
Yeah. I mean, he's probably a doctor, right? I mean, all these bad
Probably.
guys, they're
Probably
usually
a doctor
doctors.
of radios?
Radio, yeah.
Radiology? That's what that is, right?
Doctor of radiology, correct. Anybody that's
Yeah.
spending their life perfecting the radio wavelengths and the airwaves, then yeah, a radiologist is appropriate.
Can give
So
you cancer over the radio.
right, that's the hottest new conspiracy theory. You should check that one out.
Yeah, just wait. You heard of 5G? Just wait till they get to 666G.
Oh my god, no, it's already starting. That will be, Evan. You say that
I'm
jokingly
calling it now.
now.
People are gonna
That's
say that.
it's probably already been starting. It's probably already
Hmm.
been the conspiracy wheels have been turning on that one. The conspiracy theorist people, they're always one step ahead. So as soon as 5G got announced, they were already on the train of there's got to be a 666G. So, I think that's what's being perfected here. I think that's how the Whispering Shadow's doing his murderous deeds in this serial so far. But yeah, Evan's been keeping a list of suspects, and he's been really, yeah, you've watched multiple of these, like at least 2 times, like multiple chapters. So I appreciate your
Yeah, yeah,
dedication to it.
yeah. I've done a. Well, thank you. So last week, and I didn't quite catch this on my first watch, but we can actually exclude one of our suspects now.
Who would that
We
be?
can rule someone out. So Jerome, the vice president, he was in the office being threatened by the shadow, so I don't think it can be him. He had the jewels, but I don't think he's the shadow.
I was gonna say Jerome was pretty suspicious to me. I did was
They're all very
yeah,
suspicious
but
unless they're
was
going to
sorry. Go ahead.
this unless it's like a bait and switch. They make you think it's not him, but then it really is. I don't know.
It's hard to tell. I immediately I thought it could be Jerome just because I didn't like him, because it wasn't he the one that was really cranky and like yelly
Hmm.
and angry all the time, like being mean to our young
Yeah,
hero.
he's kind of crabby.
Crabby. That's the
Hmm.
perfect word for this time period, Evan. Crabby. They definitely that was the slang at the
Crabby
time.
Vice President Jerome.
Crabby Jerome. Uh just immediately think that's a kind of a Little Rascals joke. Any Little Rascal heads out there? I'm really dating myself. No, and I'm not talking about the '90s movie. I'm talking about there's like a one of the old shorts from like the '30s where their teacher's name is Miss Crabtree. So they like one of them gets like some of the other kids to go up to her and go, "Hi, Crabby." So Crabby, she was offended. You should have seen her face. She was pissed. So obviously Crabby was like it was a kind of a stinging word back then. You want to get at somebody. You want to really
Yeah,
insult them.
cuts you to the core.
It does it? Crabby. So yeah, no, I guess we can rule out Crabby Jerome. Who knew? I was gonna keep him in the list, but I'm going with your detective skills, Evan. Here,
I
I
think for
trust you.
now he's. I mean, honestly, everyone is so suspicious. I don't want to completely rule him out, but he's a little less suspicious now.
Yeah, just ever so slightly. less suspicious. He could be pulling it off from in the room. We
have
don't know.
plenty of suspects left.
Yeah, we got Steinbeck. We got Lugosi's character, Professor Strang, of course.
Dang.
His daughter. I don't think it's her, but wouldn't that be something if it was?
Yeah,
Be good.
could
I mean,
be.
she got a
That could
voice
be a
changer.
big twist.
I am the shadow, and then she, then she goes and flirts with the hero some more.
Yeah.
Doubt it, but we'll
She
see.
was saying that her father wasn't the shadow. She never said she wasn't.
That's true. She's been pretty adamant that Lugosi, he is the father, but he is not the shadow. So we'll see if that pans out. I mean, I think he is just a red herring. Kind of. Unfortunately, 50-50 with Lugosi, whether or not he's an actual bad guy or just a red herring. Probably 60-40 red herring over bad guy. But, that's kind of a lot that he had to deal with in life. But yeah, well, I mean, we're about to get into the exciting 5th chapter of The Whispering Shadow, which is entitled, Evan, I don't have it in front of me.
It is called Wanted for Murder.
Okay, Wanted for Murder. I'm going to guess this is a clip show, and it's just going to give us all the times different suspects have done something suspicious, which, if this is your first time watching, perfect episode to come in on when you're going to get a recap of all the big stuff. That's just a guess. I could be totally wrong. We're supposed to have 4 of these clip shows, and we're on chapter 5, so got to start getting them at some point. Anything before we get into tonight's chapter of The Whispering Shadow, Evan?
When Santo comes down your chimney, are you supposed to leave him tres leches?
Oh man, I just these are the times where we could really use fresh and the sound effects, man. I'll have to get back on that, but that would have been the perfect rim shot right there. I love that. Yes, I think tres leches would be appropriate. On that note, Evan, if you have it queued up,
I do.
we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of The Whispering Shadow, Wanted for Murder, right now. I always have it too loud when we start.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, always.
So how is our protagonist going to get out of this one? He died last time.
Yeah, he really, I forgot that was where we left off, was that he had no hope of survival. So, how's he going to wile his way out of this one? It's a mystery, because yeah, it seemed pretty unsurvivable. What happened even? You'd have to refresh my memory.
He picked up the transmitter.
Yeah, it just exploded.
Jerome's office. Yeah. And then they were fighting over the box in the warehouse, and the shadow struck.
That's right. We've heard this music in some of the movies we've watched on the show. This is very generic stock music. Several persons are suspected, notably Lugosi, because he's the highest paid actor in the whole thing. Have all the things looked this dramatic?
I don't know.
I don't remember him.
Steinbeck.
He's an international spy. Did you know that?
I guess he kind of is, technically. He was speaking with the Germans about the jewels.
Oh, see, you following it so well, man. Barely keep up. Who stole the How did this fucking criminal Jasper Slade be? How was he the first one to mastermind taking the jewels? And now you got all these big players involved. Why is Jack?
Is also here.
Why are they making Jack look suspicious?
Yeah.
We know
Jack
it's not
was
Jack.
Killed by the shadow. It's him.
He's it. Can we rule Jack out?
I guess we can't.
Cheers, Hugo Gomez in the chat on YouTube. Hello, hello, welcome.
What's up?
And then there go the jewels. Is that Jasper?
Okay. That's...
Or no, the
Was
criminal.
that one of Robert's men?
Whatever the criminal's name is. Yeah, it's Jasper's the criminal, right?
Oh yeah, was it? No, that's Jasper. Jasper and Jack.
All right, Jack. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, wow.
Okay.
What a cop-out. They just retconned, right? Like, the last chapter.
Yeah, they totally did. Yeah, in the last episode, he gets struck by lightning just where he's standing.
It was great. Oh my god, he still can't get this fucking puzzle solved.
Oh, gee, I almost had it. What was that explosion? What explosion?
It's terrible. Terrible at his job.
I thought my mind was just being blown by this puzzle.
What's going on here? Well, what's happening, Foster? Why, the Whispering Shadow just tried to kill me. What? How? With this electric disc.
I've seen one of these things before.
When?
The night the Shadow killed one of his own men at police headquarters.
You know who the Whispering
Oh,
Shadow
shit.
is? Tell us. Who is he? I told you the truth before.
Oh yeah, this is a recap. Here we go.
None of us knows who he is. You're headed for the
I
carriage.
don't remember this, but I know it happened. Could tell by the wipe.
Truth, I tell you. All I know is where we meet to get our orders. Where is it? Come on. Tell us. I'll tell. It.
No lightning there.
How did this happen?
Well, we were quizzing this bird, and all of a sudden he dropped dead.
With no shot from the outside?
We were quizzing this
Glad to have your
bird.
opinion.
Oh man.
Look,
Oh my god.
strange. Thing's still hot. It looks like one of the electrodes that they use in the death house. That's exactly what it is. Your man was electrocuted.
Electrocuted? Impossible. Well, where are the wires?
The diabolical genius that conceived this had no need of wires. That man was killed by a radio death ray. How did this get here, Foster?
Oh yeah,
How
band
did
name,
Jerome
Radio
off?
Death Ray.
What? Jerome's office?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I tried to prevent Mr. Jerome from giving the jewels to the Whispering Shadow.
Foster is lying, coloring Shadow. I would have got the Shadow. if
Yeah,
the girl hadn't
Ethan,
been here.
over on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. We have not seen Lugosi
Foster is working for you.
yet. I think we're about to.
Has Miss Strang been
But
here
yeah,
with you?
if you've only seen old Lugosi,
Foster and Miss
He-
Strang were
he's
both snooping around
definitly
Mr. Jerome's office,
looks different,
and I just saw her
younger.
running away with a package under her arm. So you're in on this too, eh?
Oh, just a minute, Foster. What else did you see, Jarvis?
I saw Foster attack Mr. Jerome.
If you
That
were
would be
close enough to see that,
Steinbeck.
How do we know you didn't take the jewels? And just before the explosion,
Sneaking
I saw
around.
him throw that death disc at Mr. Jerome. Get the lights, right? Enough.
Death Disc. That's a great album name too for Radio Death Ray.
Yeah.
Death Disc. Oh my god. They're just
Where are the
coming up with the whole thing.
Don't try any tricks on me. I know you've got 'em.
I tell you I didn't. The girl, she was...
What makes you think you can double-cross me?
Don't shoot, Steinbeck. I tell you. Mr. Steinbeck. Mr. Steinbeck. You were wanted on the phone.
All right, I'll be there. You heard me.
Yes, sir. Say, Mr. Jarvis, maybe you can help me solve this puzzle. Why, sure, Sparks. I'm a wizard at that. Here, let me show you. This is the shipment they want to check.
I'll see you later, Jarvis.
You see, Mr. Jarvis, the idea is to get that burnt ring over that wire there. See that? Say, I thought...
See, I couldn't even figure out what the puzzle was. Like I've never seen such puzzle in all my life.
Well, I must get back to my office.
It's definitely him.
Foster, I wouldn't have believed that you... Just a moment, Mr. Bradley. Foster was acting under my orders. I told him to watch Jerome. But I don't understand. Why didn't you arrest Jerome? He practically admitted he had the jewels. Because Jerome is not the man I'm after. My job is to catch the shadow.
You'll never take him alive if I get to him first, Raymond. Don't forget he killed my brother.
Oh, there it is. Gotta remind you of the stakes. He killed my brother. We're not halfway through this yet, are we? We kind of are. We got like another minute.
Oh, you. Why, what happened to you?
I suppose you don't know your father tried to kill me just now.
My father tried to kill you?
Yes, with a death disc you planted in Jerome's office.
Death disc.
My father isn't here.
Where is he then?
He's persistent. This is like the third time he's accused Strang of being the
Lying to
Shadow.
shield him, just
Well,
lied
this
to
is
shield
just a
you, but I got
recap,
something to wear.
right?
Young man, you're not only insulting but ridiculous. My daughter has been home the whole evening.
There's a look. There's our man.
Fine, it was a waxwork figure of you.
You don't understand. My father put it there to protect me from slaves. They escaped.
Oh wait, no, you're right. That is okay. That is like
Yeah, it's
okay.
cutting back and forth.
Let's break right there at 9:03. That's where.
Okay.
That is where I be. So that was the first half of the murder. I gotta look it up. Wanted for murder.
Wanted for murder.
Wanted for murder. Okay, so we're getting some. We're kind of going back and forth between like the continuing narrative and flashbacks, right?
Yeah. Is this one of our clip shows?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Because they're
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we're getting some recap.
yeah, and it's been a little difficult to tell what's what. Although you obviously pointed it out that I think you can tell what's supposed to be the present timeline by the scar on Jack's cheek from the
Yeah,
disc.
he's a little roughed up in the present.
Yeah, so I guess obviously what we're seeing with Lugosi now is flashback, right? But the stuff with Jack talking to the daughter and the scar on his face, that's all happening now. It's a lot to keep track of. It's kind of
It really is.
the wipes aren't helping as much as you would like to kind of like, you need more of like the woo, hey, we're going back in time and we're going to take 30 seconds. It's just kind of
It's hard to when everything's in black and white, you can't just like slap a sepia tone filter over it and say, yeah, that's the past.
Yeah, that's true. You're definitely limited in your devices. But I mean, back in these days, that's pretty much all you had was the wipe. Ain't no way you're making a. I don't know that there were any serials made in color. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so.
Yeah, not until Fruit Loops.
Right, exactly. That was, I mean, again, that was the serial that changed the game, obviously. I mean, you look at that today, it still holds up. It holds up great.
You could call it the Wizard of Oz of cereals.
You really could. Yeah, one day you had Cheerios and the next day you had Fruit Loops and the doors wide open, man.
Yeah.
Then paved the way for your Reese's Puffs and your Cookie Crisps and your all the ridiculous cereals. Oh, don't even get me started on the cereals kids have nowadays.
It's gonna be breakfast time in here.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's what we need to start doing every season that we have a cereal. We need to be eating cereal while we're watching it. Just, I mean, if we were really trying to find a way to jump the shark on these mini-sodes, then that's what we'll do. We'll start eating.
Slurping down some corn pop.
Right. I think that'll go over really well with the audience. But yeah, I mean, it's cereals of all kinds. I mean, again, what we've got here, we've got a mystery cereal. What's the prize? We don't know. That's the fun. You got to dig into the box to find out. But a lot of the times cereals, you know what you're getting. It's usually pretty affordable, pretty cheap. That's why so many, and we haven't, I wish I had time to like try to queue up cereal Western trailers, but like obviously there were so many Western cereals because they were just easy to produce. Because even like a tiny little Poverty Row studio had like a movie ranch, and a certain number of horses, and
you're in California. All you have to do is go outside.
Right. I mean, that was really kind of what the first like 50, 60 years of the film industry was kind of built on Westerns. And I mean, all the way up to like the 50s, the late 60s, going into the 70s, it was still, it was waning, but I mean, on television, Westerns were really popular. And then in the next 50 years, they just kind of died out. So it's kind of crazy that, that was probably the most popular kind of cereal. We'll try to watch one. I know they've made a few that are like, this isn't real, but like Ghost Mountain, or things that are like, kind of spooky or mysterious sounding, but it's a Western. And I don't think it like really goes in any kind of a horror direction, but it may be good to, switch things up one of these days, get into a Western. But I mean, really that was the thing. I mean, you had Westerns, and then you had kind of these science fiction mystery cereals, and those Death Rays and Men in Fedoras and Priceless Jewels. I mean, that was a kind of a popular cereal plot all the way into the 50s. Of course, then they start mixing in spacemen and jetpacks and all these other things. But it's cereals always try to find a way to like kind of give the audience something exciting, even if it's the same thing every week. Like, a nice little dose of excitement, which is great that this is, how we get to spend our Wednesdays. It's a nice little dose. So, for our break, we've got one of those mystery science fiction serial trailers queued up. I believe it's for the Purple Monster Strikes or something like that. I'm not sure. It's another Republic cereal.
Okay.
Yeah, Purple Monster Strikes. I mean, don't be expecting a purple people eater. I know that's what immediately comes to mind when you hear a title like that. Just flying through the sky, gobbling people up. But that's unfortunately, I think we've got just more of a sci-fi criminal mastermind kind of a thing.
This one isn't black and white, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the annoying thing, right? It's how are we supposed to tell he's purple? If we only saw Grimace in black and white, he would be terrifying. I mean, he's just this gray blob. Like, what the hell? So,
yeah, there we go. When are we gonna get the McDonald's Noir?
Oh, I'm sure it's in production as we speak. They've got a.
Yeah, they're gonna open that restaurant after they. Did you hear about McDonald's is making a new restaurant?
Yeah, it's something to try to rival like
Starbucks
or something, right? It's called it's something weird. It's got a weird name. But I didn't know if it was just like
it's called Cosmics.
Cosmics. That sounds like a failed idea from the 80s. Why are they doing this in 2023? I don't understand. Cosmics. just does not, like, it just, I don't know. I could be eating my words in like 2 years and it'll be the second most popular restaurant after McDonald's, but it just doesn't roll off the tongue to me. I don't know what it
Are they
is.
going to bring back the play place is what I want.
Oh my God. Well, you would think, if they really want to do it right, then they'll just make the Cosmics for kids, and then McDonald's will be an adult establishment. They're trying to cultivate a more adult image, more exclusive clientele. They're trying to court at McDonald's now, so they want to send all the families to Cosmics. I don't know. That's obviously not true, but I don't.
According to this article, Cosmics is a quote-unquote beverage concept.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed
to
rival Starbucks. It's supposed to, I think. Is
Starbucks a beverage concept?
I mean, yeah, right?
I guess.
I mean, I guess
that's a weird way to describe it.
I would think though that using the word concept would mean that it's not like you're just going to specialize in coffee, right? You're not just going to specialize in one type of beverage. You're going to specialize in many type of beverages, but if you want food, you got to go over to McDonald's. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means, and it scares me a little bit, but
I'm sure it'll be out of this world.
Oh my God! If they don't use that for the marketing, well, if they do, we'll make sure that you get your royalties for coming up with it, Evan, because we'll know they stole. We know they're watching. We know McDonald's has some kind of alarm that anytime they're mentioned on internet live stream, they tune in because they want to, make sure they're not being slandered, or if they could pick up a good idea from somebody, they're gonna steal Evan's idea.
Yeah, you know what I think they're gunning for? They're probably trying to get in early so that they can be the first restaurant on the moon.
That's a good ploy. That's a good way to kind of get at the top of the list. Be the first restaurant.
Yeah, because once that becomes a thing, of course you're gonna put Cosmics on the moon. What else are you gonna do?
Be the first thing you put on the moon, obviously. So, yep, they're angling for something. I think that's pretty clear. And we're gonna angle for this break, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the exciting conclusion of the Whispering Shadow. What?
Wanted for murder.
I keep thinking the murder. We've had a title that was the murder something.
Yeah, they usually are.
The Murder Strikes or something like that. And then now it's yes, Wanted for Murder. So we'll get into the exciting conclusion of Wanted for Murder. So stick around. We'll be right back.
A phantom killer from Mars comes to organize a gang of Earthmen to kill our leading scientists and to steal their plans.
Who? What are you?
I'm known as the Purple Monster, the forerunner of a great army from the planet Mars, which will soon swarm over your world and conquer it. I want you to aid me in assembling material for my jet plane.
Dr. Cyrus Layton, leading rocket scientist, his niece Sheila, and Craig Foster plan to capture the Purple Monster and bring him to justice.
Now, these are the 4 highways in the region of Flint Canyon where the cars have been destroyed. As you see, they form a rectangle. Whoever's responsible for these crimes must be operating within this area.
Well, that's an interesting theory, but how can you prove it?
I'm going to drive through that section and see what happens. We'll contact you later, Doctor.
All right, Craig.
That's enough work for today. Let that down. All right, turn around, both of you.
a phantom killer from Mars.
And we are back. Sorry about that. Should have put the longer trailer second, but that one is on me. So we are back. That was what was that? Like a minute? I'm like out of breath.
Quick break.
I barely got time to get back. Should you give me a second to do it? No. All right. But yeah, so the purple monster strikes, and how about that purple? Am I right?
It's so threatening. Who are you? They call me the purple monster.
Is that a sexual thing?
Yeah, now I'm more scared.
It does, yeah. Honestly, I would be more uncomfortable if that was. So, am I supposed to be intimidated or like really uncomfortable? Maybe both. But yeah, that's another one we won't get to watch. Not public domain. You know, once you start getting into the 40s, mid 40s, late 40s, and Republic was pretty good about copywriting or renewing the copyrights for their serials, but don't worry, be on the lookout for some other interesting public domain ones, but you know, we still have to get through the Whispering Shadow, and yeah, I mean we've so far this has just kind of been recapping our suspects more or less.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of, I mean, it's really Jack kind of going to different people, kind of going through a few of the suspects in flashback. So, I mean, at least there's some narrative around, there's a frame story, right? It's not just all flashback. I mean, that would have just been...
Yeah, when we said that we had like half of the show was just clip shows, I was really afraid that was just what it was going to be.
We got lucky. No, there's at least a little bit of original material in tonight's chapter. So you got to be able to appreciate that. And you know, again, if you need help out there trying to decide what is happening in the current timeline, what's happening in the past timeline, look for the scar on Jack's cheek, because that's all we got to go on now. That's all we have. Yeah. Oh, and Ethan on YouTube, Ethan made a great point about the new Cosmics restaurant or beverage concept. He said maybe it'll just be milkshakes and the machines will all be broken.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. That's pretty good. Yeah, so you know, I mean, you know, not to let into Cosmics too much more. I mean, I know it's really great fodder for you know, our tight 20 on fast food restaurants and the latest in fast food humor. But you know, we gotta keep trying to solve this mystery. We need to figure out.
We don't have time for the fast feud.
No, we don't. We've got to figure out who this Whispering Shadow is, because this is, oh my God, Evan, your camera just like totally like, or it's not your camera, it's just your connection, I guess, just like totally glitched out in a way that is like so horrifying. I don't know if you can see this, but you're back.
I'm coming to you live from VLC.
Yeah, I don't know. That was fucking very some scary pixels right there. But you're back. We see your beautiful face. So that was a nice little jolt. Scared me a little.
Automated now.
You've been taken over by the robots.
The algorithm.
AI finally replaced you with AI. I wasn't supposed to say that, but you know, I feel like I have to be honest with our audience. You know, Evan said it's just too much. I've got an AI ready to fill in. And so we appreciate Evan's AI being here tonight. See, look at him. He's glitching out already. What is this kind of AI is Evan sending me over here for this show? Swear. Just can't get good robots these. Speaking of robots, we haven't had any robots in this show, have we?
No robots. This one's been a little more grounded.
Yeah, unfortunately so. I'd like a good robot to come in and kind of spice things up, you know. We've been a little deprived.
Steinbeck's been working on in his little radio lab.
Yeah, or maybe Lugosi's like wax figures. Weren't they robots kind of? Can they move a little bit?
Kinda, yeah. They're yeah. Kind of a wax automaton.
Right.
Animatronic, maybe.
I thought so. Okay. That's wild. So we got
like a Five Nights at Strangy's. Is that a thing?
Yeah. I'm just ready for Five Nights at Cosmics because I want to see what weird kind of animatronics they're gonna put in that fucking concept beverage place. You know what the fuck that means. Kind of love that. Well, we're about to get into the exciting conclusion of Wanted for Murder. Anything before we get into it, Evan?
Yeah, I think Cosmics is just a money laundering scheme by Mayor McCheese.
I think you might be onto something there. On that note, Evan, if you've got it queued up,
I do.
We're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of The Whispering Shadow Wanted for Murder right now. I think we're still in flashback.
My daughter.
And then you came to my
Oh, here we go.
And to show his appreciation, your father brought the Shadow Men in to kill me.
The Shadow Men.
The Shadow Men? Is that what the henchmen are called?
I did not. I guess that makes sense.
Pretty good. It makes them sound a lot more.
Is this when he takes the flying leap off the stairs? Oh my god. So spry.
Merely pretending.
See, this is clearly not, Ed Wood era Lugosi. This is great shape. Energetic Lugosi. Pre-drug addiction. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's right. The collapsing room.
Yeah, this whole thing.
Isn't there any way to stop them? No! Well, that's the kind of a monster the Whispering Shadow is. He'd even kill you, his own daughter, in order to do away with me.
My father is the Whispering Shadow.
I love how they're like having this whole poignant conversation as the walls close in.
I wish I could believe you, but I know those are the Shadow's men out there.
the face moving. I do love that.
Every time. Oh, pardon me.
It'd be funny if they just used that as a cliffhanger again.
Yeah, we get stuck in a flashback for the cliffhanger.
Look, we know how they get out of it.
Somebody's got to end up wanted for murder.
Oh! God, the way that balsa wood snaps gets me every time. I love how it's you just like 3 or 4 guys back there probably pulling the wall back. Like, pull!
The Shadow. Police are coming. Get out, quick.
Henchmen are so good at scrambling.
after that, you asked me to trust you.
Oh, if I could only make you believe that my father is not the Whispering Shadow. You want to know who took the jewels just now? Well, I'll tell you. It was Jarvis.
Jarvis?
Jarvis?
Then that's where your father is.
Wait, is Jarvis the guy that I don't like? Or is Jarvis the head of the
You're home early, Mr. Jarvis.
Isn't he the president?
Yeah. Well, there's like Jarvis and Foster and what's the other dude's name? Didn't it also start with a J?
Jasper.
Well, there's Jasper, but then what's the old dude that you ruled out?
The president's name was Bradley.
Brad.
Jerome.
See?
Guns are dangerous things, my friend.
Not a disguise.
Who are you? What do you want?
Who I am?
I'm three little kids in a trench
What I
coat and a
want
fake beard.
is a package of jewels.
Just cleaning my mirrors. Nice.
That's a signal from one of my men. You have just 2 seconds to decide, my friend.
This guy belongs in a Western. My goodness.
Mr. Jarvis isn't in.
Oh, yes, he is. I saw him go in this room.
Who is this little
When you
guy?
get through with this gentleman, I'd like to have some stationery and postal cards.
Mr.
Oh,
Jarvis
just a
is on
rando.
321.
Thanks.
How about my stamps?
So this is all new. Would they kill
I
Jasper?
was just passing and heard a shot fired in one of your rooms upstairs.
A shot? Why, it must be the man that was asking for Mr. Jarvis.
Jarvis? God, I can't keep track of every J name. My goodness. Jasper, Jarvis, Jerome. God, get the fuck out with all this.
Drop that gun. I've got you covered. Pick up that gun, miss. Be careful not to destroy his fingerprints.
You, back me up.
That he killed Jarvis.
I didn't kill him. This man's trying to frame me. There's the real murder in that car.
And he's gone.
Got him. I'll get the gun now. Oh, you said get the gun off the floor? Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Nice spin.
Miss Frank, is that your father?
Oh, it couldn't be. He's tried to run me down. It must be the Whispering Shadow.
He murdered Jarvis to get the jewels. We've got to catch him.
Ooh, excuse me. Bad burp. Bad burp. Oh, and another car crash?
Don't worry. He'll take care of himself. Phone the police and tell them Foster killed Jarvis. And tell them you have
They'll
the gun
know what
with
it
Foster's
means.
fingerprints.
Are they still behind me?
Uh-oh.
Turn onto the south road. Trap is set.
Who knew he was also GPS?
It's just everywhere.
Oh! Wow, the man who was czar. Well, that'll be interesting. But that was oh god, not the murderer. What? Wanted for murder. Wanted for murder.
There you go.
End of the episode. I finally got it. Don't worry. That was Wanted for Murder. What did we think, Evan?
Well, pretty exciting. We've got possibly Strang, or maybe Lugosi as an evil twin or something.
Yeah, I would be interesting. That'd be a nice twist. I don't feel like I recognize this guy, but this guy's in the shadow. So I don't know who this disguised gentleman is, but it's certainly not Lugosi. Despite his our hero's belief.
Yeah, he's very convinced.
Well, it doesn't take much to convince Jack Foster, as we've seen. He's pretty pugnacious. I think that's a good word. Actually, I don't know if that's a good word to describe him, but doesn't it sound like
Jack
a good
Foster?
word? Yeah. Is that it? What? I don't even remember.
He's a scrappy guy.
Scrappy.
He's
what does pugnacious mean? Is it scrappy?
You like to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I swear, every time he's scowling, he looks like his fists are balled up, like he's ready to go, you know?
He's out for revenge.
I mean, he is. Yeah, I guess he is always ready to scrap after what happened to his brother. He's ready to get some justice. Yeah. I mean, you got to give it up for Jack Foster. I mean, he's definitely kind of carrying the plot at this point, you know? Like, I mean, he's the subject of every cliffhanger. I don't know what the fuck world famous detective Robert Raymond is doing right now, but it doesn't seem like much of anything. He's certainly no closer to catching the shadow than Jack is. And Jack's like dodging fucking death and destruction.
Yeah, he's world famous for delegating.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that is Robert's strength. And then, you know, everybody else is pretty damn suspicious. So it's kind of, you know, not really. No, you can't really, you know, Jack is kind of the only one to hang your hat on.
The lay of the land.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, did tonight's episode give you any interesting clues or something that would point you more in the direction of who the shadow may be tonight?
You know, I'm a little torn whether or not I'm wondering if they're gonna do some wild out of nowhere twist and just have like one of these characters who you really just has no business being the shadow ends up being the shadow. Like it'll be Sparks or something.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? Oh,
it's yeah.
I'd be pissed, yeah.
Because everyone else has almost been, like, hinted at so hard that no matter who it ends up being, it feels like it might be a little underwhelming.
Yeah, you don't want it to be, like... I mean, obviously, you want it to really hold as a mystery. You want to be kind of kept in suspense. But at the same time, you don't want it to be totally implausible that, like... All right, it makes no sense that it could have been that person. That's just like where they got to it. You know, it would be a little disappointing if that's where they kind of.
I always hate when twists are like that.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we're. I hope we're not going to deal with that. I don't think we'll have to. I think it'll end up hopefully being pretty logical, but who knows? I mean, we've kind of been given every suspect, and it's pretty hard to tell. We're almost halfway through and there's no clear suspect. So but
still anyone's game at this point.
even the comic relief, which again, that was our theory during the last serial that we watched, Undersea Kingdom. That was a theory that I spouted for one episode.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
maybe the comic relief is really they're gonna end up like really royally screwing everybody over and kind of be behind like the ultimate villainy. Of course, that didn't happen. They were barely in the damn thing.
Yeah. Luckily, that didn't come to pass.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It was probably for the best. But our comic relief here, I mean, we see him pretty much every episode, pretty much doing the same thing every time. Fiddling with the damn puzzle and like fetching somebody. Oh, so and so called, or so and so's here. It's just kind of like, give him something more interesting to do, please. Comic relief can only sustain itself for so long. You can't let it get repetitive. But I guess they're just feeling, thinking this is going to be for people with short attention spans. And in my case, they are right. It's I'm glad that you have been like watching watching these episodes multiple times and kind of, because I'm having a hard time keeping track of things, man. It has been getting difficult. This episode especially, I don't know why. I had the hardest time remembering.
Well, if we get another clip show, then maybe we'll get caught back up.
Well, I will say this did a pretty good job tonight of kind of like trying to set me on the right page. And definitely, I will say, I think the problem with the wipes was the fact that they always went in one direction. Like, it wasn't like they wiped one way and then wiped back. It was just dunk, dunk, dunk. And it wasn't like they did wipe back. They would wipe back to the future, but instead of, I don't think I've ever used that in a logical. That was logical though. You instead of going back to the future, you're going. That is how narratives like, with flashbacks work, right? You're going like when you flash back going forward, and then when you come back to the present timeline, you're technically back to the future. So there it is. Here's your logic. But yeah, I think that was the problem with the wipes. If I had to guess, that was why they were just visually not cutting it. Might be a little, digging into that a little too deep, but just my theory. I
mean, I think you're making a good point. If you're trying to communicate something like that visually, then
you gotta have
better ways to do that.
Yeah, without a doubt. As we said earlier in the episode. So that's kind of an interesting thing, but it is good to know, since there will be more of these, more of these clip shows, that they aren't really clip shows. They're just kind of, they have some flashbacks in them, but you're still getting a kind of a main narrative. So at least we know that now. We're not dreading just, a quarter of like pretty much the whole, like half of the back half being clip shows. I think we will be avoiding that, so that'll be nice. But yeah, that was chapter 5 of The Whispering Shadow, and obviously next week will be pretty close to Christmas, so I think we'll be taking next week off for the mini-sodes, but we will be back the next week with chapter 6. And of course, this Friday we're going to be doing our second annual Scream Stream Christmas special. And if you joined us last year, we had a lot of fun with Silent Night Bloody Night, which is a really early slasher, just in like slasher, but then also it's a Christmas themed film. So it's, there are actually a fair number of Christmas slashers. So this even predates the original Black Christmas. So if you haven't seen our Silent Night Bloody Night episode, you can go check that out over on our YouTube page. It is a lot of fun. And so, if you're still looking to get in the holiday spirit, check that out as a primer for this Friday's episode, where we're going to be watching, we're doing something a little different. We're going the opposite direction. Last year we did a slasher. This year we're going more family friendly, the true ideal Christmas special, enjoyable for the whole family, right? So this Friday we're going to be watching Santa Claus Conquers the Martians from 1964. If you are not aware of this movie, have never heard of it, it has been listed as one of the worst movies of all time. It's, it's all in the title, we get a lot of that on this show, and that is definitely one. It's all right there, but it doesn't clue you into the histrionic performances and the terrible, spaceship and Martian makeups and props and just all these things that are going to be so fun to, again, you want something to give you the warm and fuzzies. Nothing does that more than a cheesy movie. And what better than one with a Christmas theme? So I think it'll be just what the doctor ordered if you're still looking to get into the Christmas spirit. And so, of course, as always, Evan brings us a wonderful cocktail to pair with the evening's film. And he's bringing us a special holiday beverage in a segment which we call...
What were you drinking?
What are we drinking on Friday, Evan?
Well, this Friday, I've got us a nice beverage concept. So this month, I've been trying to do some more holiday-themed drinks, and this week we're making some mulled wine. And if I've never made mulled wine before, but I'm hoping this year, maybe if it's good, this will be a new holiday tradition. It's a nice, warm, spiced wine. If you've got an Instant Pot, then that's what I'm going to be making mine in, because it'll be nice and quick and easy before the show. Instant Pot, if you want me to do a sponsorship, please hit me up.
Here we go. We're right here, wide open.
Yeah. But if you don't have one of those, you can just make it on the stove. The recipe I'm following is using red wine, some added brandy, some thinly sliced apples, and a heap of spices, including just a mixed mulled wine spice, some cinnamon, some star anise.
Yeah.
Black peppercorn and honey.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is gonna be a good one.
I've never had mulled wine. I'm pretty sure I've definitely heard of it. It is one of those Christmas time beverages. I've probably seen an old movie where they've had it. I mean, is it more common maybe in Europe or England as like a Christmas holiday drink?
Yeah, we always make some apple cider around the holidays. Cook that up on the stove, but never had mulled wine.
No. So that'll be really good. I'm very excited for it. All those ingredients sound delicious. So, I think that, again, you just want to add warm and fuzzies on top of warm and fuzzies. I think that the drink and the movie, they're just gonna really complement each other well. So you can join us this Friday at 8:30 for that. And of course, you want to find the recipe. You will be able to find that on our Instagram page. It is not up yet. As soon as we get off here, I'm going to go and get those made up and put them on the Instagram page. So you can go out and get all those ingredients before Friday's episode. Of course, we are over on Instagram and TikTok and X at Screamstream Show. And like I said, if you want to catch up on last year's Christmas special, any of our past Whispering Shadow episodes, Or, again, you're just looking for some fun, cheesy movies to kind of get your joyful spirit up for this time of year. You can go find all that over on our YouTube page at Scream Stream Live. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. Really, really, really appreciate everybody's support over on YouTube, whether it's been from the beginning or in the past month. We've, just been, it's been a journey. We've been coming along. So it's nice to see. And so happy to love interacting with everybody out there, and thanks for everybody who's tuned in tonight. We've had Ethan, and we've had see, I don't have my chat pulled up, and it was oh my god, oh, I'll remember it, don't worry, I'll remember it. I'll shout you out next time. The beginning of next episode. Hugo Gomez. Thank you, Hugo Gomez. See, when he said Hugo, I remembered Gomez. Yep. So Ethan, Hugo Gomez, thanks for chatting it up on the YouTube chats, and of course everybody that tuned in tonight. And of course, if you want to follow us on the socials, you can go find me over on X at Spakenstein, and of course Mr. Evan Sink is over on X and Instagram at Caligari Cursed. Anything before we sign off tonight, Evan?
So I got some bad news. I got my draft letter in the mail. I've been drafted to fight in the war on Christmas. They're shipping me off to the North Pole.
Well,
next week.
All right. What's going to be your weapon of choice in the North Pole?
Just a firm happy holidays.
I think that'll work. Until Friday. Sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.